Hey everyone, it's Pastor Tim, and thank you for joining me on this Lenten devotional for this week. Uh, I'm outside, and it's going to be noisy because I am outside, and I just need to be. It's almost like spring. This is the first really nice day that we've had in a long time, and I just felt the need to be outside in nature, just out of the house, out of the office, just outside. And maybe it's because I'm getting spring fever. You know, this winter's been pretty hard because we've all been stuck inside because of the weather. And then the days that it was pretty nice, we still couldn't get outside because of the pandemic. And so I'm using this time to just be out. I love spring. It's my favorite time of year. It is a time for renewal. And even in the Christian sense, the season that we're in right now, Lent, which means spring, it's also a time of renewal. It's a time that we go through our innermost beings and see the things that we have cluttered up our lives with that we just need to get rid of. At church, we are using this time of Lent to go through some of the hard letters that are hard words that Jesus said. We're calling them the red letters we wish were gray. It's the sayings of Jesus that we wish that he had said a little bit easier, to make it easier on us. But that's not the case. But it is still sayings that we can learn from, sayings that we can incorporate to make us who God calls us to be. Kind of reminds me of back whenever I was a firefighter with the city of Charlotte. I was stationed at I was stationed at a station where I had a captain who, for whatever reason, just did not like me. He treated me really bad. I never did anything right in his opinion. And it was a hard time being there. Now, I was only there for 2 months, but those were the worst 2 months in all my time with the fire department. And I was so happy that I was able to get out within 2 months because I was promoted to become the EMS training officer. I was in the training academy and overseeing the training EMS, or the medical training for the department. But even being away from that station, it still ate at me because that captain was just always so mean to me. It was kind of ironic that one day I heard that this captain was going to be retiring soon. That was fine with me because if I ever had an enemy there, that was it. And whenever I found out he was retiring, I also found out that he had missed the last 2 training sessions that we had. That meant he was 6 hours short on his certification, his EMT certification. And he was in danger of losing that certification. And if he lost it, he would be terminated. Not retired, terminated. Well, I'm sure he could have worked it out some way, but he would have lost part of his retirement, what he had planned on. And so I had the opportunity to write him a letter explaining to him that because of his deficiency in the required training hours, he was going to have to come in for a talk with me, deputy chief, and the training chief. And from that, we would determine his course of action, which would either be remedial training, civil service review, and possibly termination from the fire department. I was about to get my revenge. But something happened. Maybe it was that I started reading some of these red letters that Jesus had spoken. And I read this one about love your enemies. And I was going, gosh, but Jesus, you don't know this captain. I was making every excuse where I could exact vengeance. But then I got to that part where it says, be merciful as your Father is merciful. Love your enemies. And if I am truly going to love my enemy, then I do not wish harm on him or her. I pray for them. I pray for God's blessing on them. Not for God to change them, but for God to bless them. And by blessing, we're often changed. And if nothing else happened, I was changed. You see, I still got that letter. It never went up the chain. The only thing that captain got from me was a card that says, I hope that you enjoy your retirement. You know, I want to invite you to take time during this season of Lent. Think of an enemy of yours. You may not have a real enemy, but somebody who is not your favorite person. Somebody that you wish would be different than they are. And here's the challenge. Pray for them. Pray earnestly for them. Pray something like, God, you know I don't agree with this person, and this person is just mean to me. But God, this person is a child of yours. And I pray that you will pour out your blessings on them and enrich their lives so abundantly that they see your grace. You know, it may have an effect on them, but here's something I have found out. The more you pray for somebody, the less of an enemy they are. For you are showing mercy. And that's what we're called to do. I pray for each one of you, not because you're my enemies, because I love you and God loves you even more. Godspeed.